Yesterday I talked about being ready for opportunity, and a lot of people wrote me, and a lot of people called me, and it seemed like the last couple of weeks I've been helping people with a lot of strategy and things. But the thing that I come to now is I feel like we're coming into a time where we need to make decisions about what we're going to do and who we're going to be and where we're going to go with things. It's one thing to make preparations for things and believe God for the answers. It's another thing when we know you've come up or I've come up to the place where we need to do something. Last year, one of my boys decided he wanted to jump out of an airplane. I personally never saw really any reason for wanting to do that. My own dad was a paratrooper, and for years he tried to get me to go jumping with him, and I just can't see it. It took enough guts for me to learn how to fly a plane, only to decide that that's not really where I wanted to be either. But my boy jumped out of the plane, and there was a preparation for getting ready to jump. There was a preparation saying, okay, I'm going to do this. My wife and I are going to drive up. We've made our reservations. We're going to put on this suit. They're going to explain to us what's going to happen. We're going to get up in an airplane, and then we're going to be out the door. A lot of people I know are at the place where they need to be out the door. You and I, we come to a place, we've made preparations, we say, okay, we're going to do something, and now we have to do it. When I was little, I look at some of the things I did, and I look back in horror, to be quite honest with you, that I would even have thought about doing those things. But, whether it was doing crazy things on motorcycles or even a bicycle or whatever those things were. But in business, I always have a deadline for my newspaper, and I always have to make a decision predicated on that deadline. That deadline says, okay, you have until X time to get this column, these columns, these articles, these photos out and ready to go. I think that we need to begin to do that in our own lives. It's one thing to get an education or to get a degree in something or to pass a course, but the next step is you got to do it. You got to be ready to jump out of the airplane. I look around and I see a lot of people who are hesitant to make that move. We've planned so much. We've made planning. We've made strategy such a part of what we do that we know that the end result is that we have to make this decision. We're going to jump out of the plane, but wow, is this really what I want to do now that I'm up here 5,000 feet in the air? I want to say to you that there'll be nothing in your life that will prepare you for the exact moment when you make a decision like that. I know young people, and myself as well, when I was young and I decided to get married, and we think, oh yeah, it's just going to be like our parents, or we'll never be like our parents, whatever the case may be. But then we come into it and we go, wow, this wasn't really what I thought it was going to quite be like. And so all our preparations are put aside. In recent days, I've had some friends that have had babies and things, and one has had a couple of babies, and another one is a new mom, and my own granddaughter's being ready to be born sometime in February. And I look at that, and no matter what your preparation is, I'm pretty sure for the wife that as her belly gets bigger and bigger and her body doesn't fit the way it used to fit, and her husband's all of a sudden having to do things that he never had to do before, you look at that and you say, okay, but at some point that baby's going to push, and there's going to be a change. And there's going to be a transitory change. There's going to be that place in the pregnancy where it's called transition. My son said when he jumped out of the airplane, he just went, oh my gosh. And when they yanked on the chute, that was just as disconcerting to him as the initial jump out the plane. There's stages of every